We back in this thing. Yes, sir. It's a new day, y'all. Most definitely. Hey, man, I had to come back. I had to get some clarity. I had to get some clear type film stuff going on for y'all. You feel me? Yes, sir. So, without further ado, we in this thing, man. Yes, sir. So, we're going to start with the Dallas Cowboys. That's what we're gonna start with. Cause there's some bullshit going on with the Dallas Cowboys. It's some drama going on with the Dallas Cowboys. And we're gonna get to the bottom of it. You dig? Yes, sir. Hold on. Let me fix that camera view for you. For you guys. Let me fix that view for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Let me fix that view for you guys. Yes. All right. So Michael Parsons, if you guys don't know, is a defensive end slash linebacker. Um, He had the most sacks in 4 years in NFL history in a long time. He's projected to be one of the highest paid defensive ends in NFL history. But the owner of his team don't want to cough up that Fedia. He don't want to cough it up, y'all. Why you don't want to cough it up? You owe me. You owe me. So he put out press conferences talking about, you know, I spoke, I spoke with, hold on. We're gonna get this thing together like a small piece of leather. All right. I want y'all to be as hip as I am on this situation, right? So what I'm doing is I'm pulling up the interview that Jerry Jones first did, and let me see, because this joint still this joint keep popping up. Hey, y'all make sure y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitch. You know what I'm talking about? Hit that Cash App if you fucking with the boy, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Let's see what Guan. I want y'all to see this shit. This shit just keep popping up. The Stephen A shit just keep popping up. Stephen A shit just keep popping up. Let's see. I hope y'all can hear me out there, gang.
Oh my goodness, man. Apparently, this Dallas Cowboys situation has hit a cold red as Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons are full on at war at this point, y'all. Let's get right into it as Jerry had a discussion with the playmaker about Micah Parsons, his contract, and man, he revealed some things that all I'm going to say to y'all boys is, I told y'all so. Micah, fire agent. Let's get right into it. Y'all
Fire
for more
agent.
Dallas Cowboys
They want
content.
Micah to fire his agent. They want Micah to fire his agent. Do you hear this shit?
Man, shut your up. All right, man. I was excited to come back home and watch this one.
Players. That's where competitively the rules keep us all within the range of competing for the Super Bowl. Parity.
But yeah, okay. So what I'm taking from this is
Okay. So I didn't get the interview of him at training camp, but blase, he was saying he made a deal with Micah and Micah reneged. Now, Michael Irvin pulled him on his podcast, and he's finna further go into detail. And then Stephen A pulled him on his podcast. So we finna check this out. Let's go. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. You rocking with the best, most valuable, baby. I'm back. Let's go.
like, okay, so, and I'll just take Michael. If they say if we got Michael done earlier, could have saved $5 million a year. You're saying the risk of that, the risk of paying you doesn't outweigh the risk of that big injury that can cripple your salary cap paying a guy like Mike Parsons. I personally think I'll take Michael over those other three players. I mean, this time. Not always, but I'm going to take him over the other three players.
Okay. Would you take Herschel Walker over the players we got for Herschel Walker?
Herschel Walker. Oh, Jerry pulled
my God.
Michael Irvin card. Because look, Mike is smiling.
Check this out. Mike was one of the players in the Herschel Walker. You feel me? From the draft picks they acquired. So he's talking about the biggest trade in Cowboy history. I don't know if you guys know about this. This is the biggest trade in Cowboy history. They traded one player for other players and an astronomical number of draft picks. That's when they acquired Emmitt Smith, Michael Irving. They went on a run. You feel me? The run that they dwell and talk about so much. They got this shit off of a magical deal. I'm talking about magical. Never happened ever again. It hasn't happened ever again. And here it is, the person that did it talking about it. This is wild. This is wild.
Because he like, damn. Jerry pulled Mike Carr. Oh, this is about to be good.
Herschel Walker didn't take that.
Mike said, that's a good comeback. Facts, bro. Facts.
Part either. But look at the double handful of players we got for one player with Herschel Walker.
Right. But that was different because Herschel Walker gave you one element, and that was the run game that we had to build a whole team. We were trying to build a whole team. Right now, you have a pretty good offense. You got a pretty good offense. You got an offense put up 35 points a game. 30 points a game, I think. Now, is somebody to get to the passer on the other side. That's why I say I give him value over even the other three, because I don't know any other to get to a quarterback better than Michael Parsons. And what I have offense makes
yes. Okay, well, let me that.
Oh, this is good
what
stuff.
I offered Michael 60 days ago.
Here we go.
Let's do some math, y'all. What he offered Micah 60 days ago. So this was an even more recent contract offer than the one in March, y'all. He about to talk about something even more recent than the conversations they had in
So he
March.
sent
Let's
another
listen.
one.
Would get those 3 or 4 players. And yet I offered it to him because I agree with you.
Ooh.
I was saying right then I wanted him more than 3 players. What he has been offered, what he has been guaranteed, what he has been offered. So it's not a question of whether or not I agree with you or not.
Jerry's taking the gloves off. He's about to pull the. I'm about to Nate the bomb card. He's like, all right, Micah, y'all playing hardball. Y'all don't want people showing support and all this other stuff. Your agent is getting you to essentially try to cause a mutiny within the organization. I got you, bro. Let me go ahead and let the general public know exactly what's been going on instead of sitting here and taking all these knives and spears on Micah. Y'all
Okay.
need to.
So the narrative is this. The narrative is that he negotiated a deal with Micah. He negotiated a deal with Micah on the side. Micah was supposed to go tell his agent. They were supposed to draft up paperwork, make him the highest paid player outside of a quarterback. Bam, that was in March. Here he is saying he sent another one 60 days ago, which was June. 60 days ago, he sent another one. So if he sent another one in 60 days ago, what did the agent say about that one? That's what I want to know. That's what we need to know. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We finna find this out. We getting to the bottom of this, y'all.
To realize, bro, and if you watch that documentary, you will understand the problem standing in front of a moving bus or a moving train for one of his, especially for one of his guys. And Micah was 100% one of his guys. I think that this negotiation has changed Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones's relationship. And Micah responded to this interview with Michael Irvin. He responded to this in a way that, man, this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better, if it ever gets better. And Jerry is spitting right here. I'm gonna be honest. Let's go, Jerry. What you got?
Jerry Cook.
I do agree with you very much.
He just let us know. He about to let us know exactly what he offered Micah was about to happen.
That's a big part of the issue is that at where.
And for those of y'all that's mad about me pausing, I have to. Copyright. Please shut up.
My offer was, and of course we do have those issues of him saying, "Well, my agent wasn't sitting there," so we don't think it was an offer, and we don't think it's a valid one. You and I would tell him you can do some pretty good business without an agent sitting there. And as you well know, I've done most of my negotiating without an agent in the room, and so I like to do that because where was the agent after we did our deal when many times we needed to work things out and work things out, team life and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, and that's a valid point. That's a
okay. He likes to work deals without the agent. I feel you. But you just made Dak. You just paid Dak, and he has an agent. You just paid CD Lamb, and he has an agent. What's the problem with Micah? Is it the fact that his agent landed the biggest deal in NFL history and all you owners were mad that he landed this deal with the Browns for Deshaun Watson? You thought we forgot? You don't want to deal with this man because he has a reputation of opening you guys' pocketbooks. He got a reputation of touching your bottom line. You dig? That's why. You don't really want to say it, Jerry. You don't want to deal with him because he's a shark. And that's the type of agent you want to have. Micah, don't fire your agent. Do not fire your agent. Don't do it. Withhold your services. This could get bad, y'all.
valid point. And to go along with that, David Mulugeta, we've seen other guys training everything. David Mulugeta, by all accounts, he hasn't even been around the organization, and that makes a really good point for Jerry. It's like, bro, why do I have to negotiate with you when I never see you? That makes a very, very valid point, especially if this is how Jerry's traditionally done business, y'all. And at the end of the day, you're looking at one of the best businessmen in the NFL. So y'all can say what y'all want to, y'all can and poo-poo all y'all want to until y'all hammer out the type of deals Jerry is doing. Shut y'all bitch asses up. Let's keep moving.
Really,
Yeah, he was doing a little too much talking. He was doing a little too much talking for me. We trying to get my audience. We get down to the get down. You feel me? Y'all bear with me, y'all. We in the matrix. Hit that like, hit that subscribe.
Michael, why don't you grab Micah and come over here with him and come with me and sit down here and bridge this.
You guys are wanting to bring what a man into the locker room, and he is joining us right now. The man behind it all, the master, because I call it a master plan now. Everybody thought he just kind of wondered on owning the Dallas documentary shows. That's not the reality. I always say I measurement it. This is the master plan, which I find to be absolutely phenomenal and amazing. Joining the locker room, Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome to the locker room.
I feel you, Mike, but we got to get
Way.
to it.
But I'm sitting here talking that lived, that walked the talk, and lived it. And so I will say this: the fact that we're here today maybe has to do to some degree with the time, but I that I'm there on any basis, and I know you are. And so as time has gone along, we do see how proud we are of what we got to do when we were on the field working together. But what I want
Yeah,
everybody to hear
getting
me
into that
say
juicy
is
shit.
uh, made the top of the terms of the sports page. But these were the names. Well, he got me interviewed that we should have seen a few more things come down the pike. And so I let me say this: I have never not written a check because of having paid the players I paid early. I've never not written a check to get that done. So it hasn't kept me from being able to. What it kept me from doing is husband the dollars so that I don't make those mistakes that you might have. Let me say this, and you know this. It's a word that nobody wants to hear, but people get hurt playing this game. And it was one time, if they got hurt, it had an X impact on the team for the next several years. At the kinds of salaries that you're paying, let's say the top 10 or 12% of the players in the league today, when those guys aren't available to play, that is a major hit on the rest of the team or the team's opportunity to go forward. So you better be real careful when you're laying things like a plus $100 million worth of guarantee on a player and not be aware of this game. You and I both know that everybody that walks out here is free of not playing again. And keep this in mind what you're paying a player for, a player. Not in any way. I'm the biggest fan in the world, and I appreciate what a player has done up until that point, especially that has really, really done well enough to be in the top 10 or 12% of players. But none of what you're paying him is for what he's done in the past, not a cent. So
He's he's right about that. Yo check, your contract is for what you're gonna do in the future. It's not for what you've done in the past, but what you've done in the past has major effects on if you get your money or not. So it's a double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? This league that they talking about, this game that they playing, it's a wild game, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be ready. You got to really be ready.
all about what he's going to do. Well, if you have any measurement at all about uh, making a mistake, there's a chance that you pay that money and he not be around to help you win the championship or help you play the season. That risk alone puts in perspective having that much at stake on any one player. Everybody's got the issue. That's not Jerry Jones's problem. The Dallas Cowboys, that's everybody's problem. But it's what keeps you from just being what looks to be the obvious, and that is pay the player. The player has earned that. He has earned it. Well, that's not what you're paying him for. You're paying him because of what he's going to be doing for the team in the future. And so you got a way, for instance, if a player is, let's say, over a 3 or 4 year period. I'm going to just arm wave numbers. But let's say you were talking about $100 million. Well, that $100 million in this particular case, if you'll take a few liberties with me, might get you three players. Be better off the one player or three players making a third of the money. Where can you be better? What are the odds of losing
Right,
that
right,
player to an
right.
injury as opposed to the odds of the three?
I get what he's saying. You can get three for one, but this one is spectacular, man. Anybody else would take this one. If you would dangle this one out there, everybody would try to get that one. You know it, Jerry. Jerry knows this. If he was to even initiate a trade, his phone would be blowing off the hook. He doesn't even want to hear no trade deals, talks, nothing. He put that out there. I'm not trading Micah. I want him to suffer for 2 more years. Basically, that's what that means. Suffer, nigga, for 2 more years.
Three players losing one of them to the injury. Now, that's not forgetting that Michael Irvin, and I say that, and I know everybody watching knows I mean it. What Michael Irvin made in our championships is unanimously known. And so you say, well, what do you give somebody to do that? Probably a little bump from what you negotiated, and we negotiated back when we negotiated. But that's a little bit of hindsight there, too. So where am
Oh,
I coming with all this? The
okay.
real question is, and
So
any player
he bumped it
at
up a little bit. Okay, so he even bumped it up some, and the agent still. This is wild. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, y'all. Y'all already know what it is. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Instagram.
Everyone is
Hit
chasing the
that
feeling
cash app like Dr.
of a
Umar
win.
said. Hit that cash app.
No matter what happens, you are all winners. Tonight.
this level of pay, we're having three players that are all pro players, or are you better off having that one player or the three players to help you win a championship? Well, the answer is we'll get both. Have that player plus those other three players. That's where competitively the rules keep us all within the range of competing for the Super Bowl. Parity.
But Jared, okay, so what I'm taking from that, okay, so, and I'll just take Michael. If you got Michael done earlier, could have saved $5 million a year. You're saying the risk of that,
All right, here we
the
go, y'all.
risk of paying you doesn't outweigh the risk of that big injury that can cripple your salary cap paying a guy like Mike Parsons. I personally think I'll take Michael over those other three players. I mean, this time and this time. Not
Bingo,
always
and
will I
that's
say
fair.
that. I'll take over the other three
Okay.
players because of what he's done.
Would you take Herschel Walker over the players we got for Herschel Walker? I know
Now,
you wouldn't. Herschel Walker
that's
wouldn't
a
take
good comeback. That's a good
Herschel,
comeback. That's a
Herschel
good
Walker
comeback.
wouldn't take that
Right,
for it
right.
either. But
Trade.
look at the double handful of
But
players we got for one player with Herschel Walker.
right, right. But that was Jerry, and it's just that was different because Herschel Walker gave you one element that was a run game, and we were at to build a whole team. We were trying to build a whole team. Right now, you have pretty good offense. You got a pretty good offense. You got an offense put up 30, 35 points a game, 30 points a game, I think. Now, what you're going to need is somebody to get to the passer on the other side. That's why I say I give him value over even the other three because I don't know any other three that's going to be able to get to a quarterback better than Michael Parsons. And what I have offense makes
Yes.
him valuable.
Okay. Well, let me reply back. What I offered Michael 60 days ago would get those three or four players. And yet I offered it to him because I agree with you.
Right.
I was saying right then I wanted him more than three players. What he has been offered, what he has been guaranteed, what he has been offered. So it's not a question of whether or not I agree with you or not. I do agree with you very much, and that's a big part of the issue is that at where my offer was, and of course we do have those issues of him saying, "Well, my agent wasn't sitting there," and so we don't think it was an offer, and we don't think it's a valid one. You and I would tell them you can do some pretty good business without an agent sitting there, and as you well know, I've done most of my negotiating without an agent in the room. And so I like to do that because when I was the agent after we did our deal, when many times we needed to work things out and work things out, team life and all that kind of stuff, it was really us. And so that's why I
Well,
like to be there at this time.
yeah, and it was Jerry, but as you said, Jerry, those were different times, and we're so at a different place now. Those numbers and those days were pretty much going to stay relative to who was the highest paid at the position, what did you accomplish. Now, the numbers are so astronomical. You said you made a great offer. Was that offer what we hear? Would it have made Michael? You don't have to tell me the number, but would it have made Michael the highest paid quarterback in the league today, which we have all heard that's one of the things that he and his agent wanted.
Yeah.
Without telling me, would that offer
Well,
have
I
made?
can't necessarily say, but I don't want to hedge the question. Okay. It would have made him the highest guaranteed player other than a quarterback in the NFL,
Oh, guaranteed.
Okay.
other than a quarterback,
Okay.
other than the NFL.
That's guaranteed. Okay. And,
Yeah.
and that's something to start with. I know that's all you're
Do you
okay.
remember Emmett? Do you
He
remember
said that that's
Emmett's
something to start with.
Yeah.
They
the
don't want to
time
be
that
the
he
highest
didn't
paid. They
uh,
don't
Right.
want to
held out and we didn't have him?
listen. They don't want to be the highest guaranteed. They want to be the highest paid, period. Guaranteed included, Jerry. What do you see? So you being a technical asshole, Jerry, you you letting them be the highest paid guaranteed when they want to be the highest paid, period. You know what they want, and you don't want to give it to them. And I understand that is business negotiations, blah blah blah. But Jerry, come on, man, come on, Jerry. I want to see what you told Steven too. Come on, Jerry, you tripping?
Him for 2 games.
Correct.
That wasn't because I didn't want to get the highest money ever paid a running back. It was because we were wanting the number to be up with the quarterback. And so at that particular time, that was the holdup. We finally got bridged that gap and got that done.
Oh, so
And he, of course, became the highest running back ever paid
right.
at that
And
time.
I thought that that's what he wanted because I remember coming to you and said, Jerry, I don't care if you give him $1 more than Thurman Thomas, get him in camp. I remember us having
But
that
that wasn't the
conversation.
case. That was
So,
not the case.
that's what I had. I remember having that argument with you, and I didn't know they were talking about quarterback money.
Yes, sir.
I was at running back money.
Absolutely. Quarterback money. Quarterback money at the time. Now, having said that, and by the way,
Are you hinting to me that? Are you hinting to me that Michael's asking for quarterback money?
no, I'm not hinting anything, but I would say this: the world would know that I want Micah if they knew what I had offered him, and he knows what I offered him. The world would know that I want Micah to play on the team and respect him for what he can bring to the team. And now, as it turns out in this particular case, you say, well, what happens? Well, what happens is that we have a contract, and there's this year remaining under the contract. And then in the NFL, I get at our volition to extend that contract another year, pay him like a franchise, and another one after that. So we really got 3 years to work this thing out. And it's a basic contract that's there to go. And I did that with Dak, and we couldn't agree. So Dak played his last year of his contract, and then we franchised him. And so it's exactly what happened with Dak. And we moved forward, and of course, ultimately, we got a contract, made Dak the highest paid player in the NFL. So the president is handling it like Dak. But in this particular case, then Micah comes in and plays this year under his contract. If it doesn't, it's very costly for everybody. Just a little similar to what happened when we didn't sign Emmett and we didn't do well our first two games. He was an integral part of what we were doing. But at that particular time, we got that worked out and went on to win a Super Bowl, as you recall.
Yeah, and Dak is the quarterback, and Jerry, quarterback position, you can really,
Jerry, stop
even though it's been
bullshitting.
unfortunate for Dak, he's had some injuries and everything. How much does that play into it? That okay, even Dak, who's a protected guy at quarterback, had those injuries, and now you're talking about a guy like Michael, who is not as protected at running around. So I got to ascertain from what you said to me prior to earlier that this thing also counts into your understanding of this contract negotiation.
Okay, Mike, I'd like to turn the table on you a little bit and say,
What's that?
which is the most the most important increment? The top-rated quarterback,
No doubt.
top-rated pass rusher.
Yeah, no doubt. Top rated quarterback. No doubt.
Yeah, okay. So that's what Dak had going for him because he was out of contract. And Micah is a pass rusher, outstanding, outstanding. We need him to win,
Yeah.
and we should have him to win. We can have him 3 years, like it is right now. We can have him 3 years.
Okay, my thing is this. If you offered the man a deal, you obviously want to pay him. Because he don't want to take the deal that you're offering, you're going to make him ride out the rest of his contract. That sounds like retaliation to me. I don't know. Y'all be the judge. Let me know.
Without having this agreement, he should though, in my mind, because he'd be the highest guaranteed player ever on defense. Was what he's been offered.
And okay, and I'll let it go at that. I'll let it go at that. I'll drop this one
Nah,
thing on you
Mike, don't
because
let it go at that.
When we wanted to send the details to the agent told us to stick it up our ass.
Wait. Now, see, I was
Just so you're clear.
Whoa,
wait. What do you mean? So,
whoa. Did y'all hear that? The agent, the agent told him stick it up his rear end. The agent told him stick it up his rear end. Not Jerry Jones. He didn't tell Jerry Jones that.
We
That's
need him to win,
yeah.
And we should have him to win. We can have him 3 years, like it is right now. We can have him 3 years without having this agreement. He should though, in my mind, because he'd be the highest guaranteed player ever on defense. Was what he's been offered.
And okay, and I'll let it go at that. I'll let it go at that. I'll drop this one thing on you because this is.
When we wanted to send the details to the agent told us to stick it up our ass.
Wait.
my God.
Wait, now, see, I was
Just so you're clear.
Wait. What do you mean? So wait.
Well,
What do you mean? Because people are going to ask.
Mike and I talked. Mike and I talked, and then we were going to send it over to the agent. And we had our agreements on term, amount, guarantees, everything. We were going to send it over to the agent, and the agent said, "Don't bother, because we've got all that to negotiate." Well, I'd already negotiated. I'd already moved off my mark on several areas. And so the issue, very frankly, is we've had the negotiation in my mind. And the agent's trying to get his nose in it right now and try to come in there and improve off the mark that we'd already said. It's the mama daddy deal. You go into mama and she won't do it. And she's the boss. So much. She won't do it. So you run into daddy. Daddy says, do it. And then you go back in and say, mama, daddy said it was all right. It's the old mama daddy deal. We've all been there and done that. Well, we've got this deal resolved in my mind for the Dallas Cowboys. And we've got it done. And if the agent wants to finish up the detail, which is should, and do all the paperwork. And he can do that. And we're ready to go. But as far as the amount of money, the years, the guarantees, all of that, we negotiate that.
Jared, people are going to say, how could you have negotiated that with Michael? And I know they'll take our conversation about negotiation and say, just because it worked with Michael Irvin don't mean it works with Michael Parsons. So what are you going to say to that when they say, well, why not deal with the agent? Why? If he said, well, you said he said, stick it up your ass, but why not still send that over and we start working off that contract? Regardless, he'll take it, he'll red line what he has to red line and put in what he has to put in, and he sends it back. Why? At least have a conversation going, even though it's not mouth to mouth, it's on paper. But why not? Why wouldn't
Because he's told him stick it up his ass. You don't tell me that. Come on, Mike.
he
You
take
know
it?
I
Why not send something back? And how would you respond if he did take it and chopped it all up and sent something back?
Yeah. Micah, I mean, not Micah, Michael. And please forgive me for, since the subject is Micah, okay? Uh, I have agreed to give more money than has ever been given in terms of guaranteed money than anyone ever has as far as a defensive player. I've done that. Now, I'm the cat that writes the check, okay? Now, Mike has got 3 years with the Cowboys left. He's got 3 years. At some point, somebody has to have the say over the other. At some point, it has to be that way. My job is managing the check. Okay. Micah's got to do the playing. Where's the least important part of this whole equation we're talking about? What is the least incremental part of the whole equation? The attorney or the agent. Okay. He works for Micah. Okay. He's not the principal here in any way. In any way. They're in here. They're in here to make their percentage. They're in here to basically, yes, advise Micah. Advise Micah. Come over to the office and I'll show you exactly what I offered Micah. We got it in the back. It's with all written down, everything to go. Come down and look at that.
I'm gonna get over
Okay.
there and see that.
You can sure look at it. You can sure absolutely look at it. Here is my entire point. My point. Who is it that basically says ultimately recognizing we're trying to come together for an agreement, but absolutely, who is it that can go with it? And so the facts are, I don't know that I've ever been around. I've never tried to buy anything. I've never tried to do anything that I actually was going to bring all of the services and somebody else was going to do all the money. But because the in between guy wasn't exactly the guy that I had fit there, that kept you from doing the deal.
Right.
That's exactly what's happening here. So
he
many
like
times in this,
basically
in
he like, man, your middleman fucking your money up, Micah. That's basically what he's saying. Your middleman fucking your money up. Well, we heard what he had to say to Michael. Michael gonna take it easy on him. He's a cowboy for the rest of his life. But somebody that could take it a little harder on him. Stephen A. So Jerry don't like this man agent at all because he struck that deal. I'm telling y'all, he struck that deal. They don't like that guy.
very much on deck this morning. As you can see, it is lunacy. By the way, Joe Fortenbaugh and I are wearing the same jacket. You can tell us apart. I'm the one without the mustache.
All right. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. You rocking with the most valuable podcast you did. All my people on Twitch, you already know what it is. I love y'all. All my people on YouTube, if you fucking with me, hit that like, hit that bell notification, subscribe so you can get all notifications when I go live. Hit me on Instagram, DM me if you want to talk about anything. Hit the Cash App. Words of Dr. Umar. Hit
What's
the
up,
Cash
everybody?
App.
Welcome to this special edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show over the digital airways of YouTube. And of course, you know I work in as my day job. Today,
Said, well, if I can do it and spend the time on it, I really want to do it. The big thing is that I just didn't realize how much of it was back there. And it really did, the process going through, and I spent a lot of time on it. But it surprised me. I got emotional. And some things that I get into that were involved in my past relative to buying the Cowboys.
like what?
I can, and I'll get to it,
Sure.
but I can be in a public speaking situation. Certainly can be in a room or
We want the juicy
something
stuff.
feels better every day when this one's burning a little.
With YouTube Music Premium, listen to your favorite songs ad-free. To listen offline or on the go. Enjoy.
When this one's burning a little bit and old Stephen A's wearing my here, I do. But confuse that in my mind with taking steps, what it takes. I just paid two guys. That history of
Yeah, we'll get into that.
But I'm
60
just
million
saying,
a year. We'll get into that.
get into that.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And CD Lamb, 136 million.
My
Yeah, we'll
point
get into
is,
that.
I don't have a locked up hand on signing a big check to make this team better. I'll do it. I will do it.
Okay.
And I'll take the risk to do it, and I have done it, and I'm doing it now, and I'll do it again.
Why haven't you done it with Micah Parsons yet?
Well,
take your
let me
time.
say it just right.
Take your time.
I just was on a podcast with Michael for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I invited him to bring Micah and come in since he's got a lot of experience negotiating with me. Michael does. And then by that negotiation 30 years ago, we've remained real associates for 30 years.
Right.
I said, Micah, did you do your agent? No. No, but that was then.
That's right.
This is now. Okay? So I said, Michael, why don't you grab Micah? You're a big fan of his. Think a lot of him. And I do too. Why don't you get him in here? Be sure and pick up what I offered him. Be sure and pick that up when you come through the door on that deal right there. There's right now about 3 entities involved in the Micah Parsons deal that really count, and that's not to dismiss everything about the organization and the Cowboys.
What are the 3 entities?
Micah, me, sitting out there, and about a mile back is that agent. These are the 2 to get it done. Always has. And these are the 2 that be sitting there working it out when it hits the fan. It's not
What exactly you Parsons that has your position where you're so resolute, your stance right now? Exactly.
just said, I just said, can come over and let's talk it over.
I agree.
Let's look.
I'm talking about what happened last
Sound,
March.
but I'm just saying that's not did that. But here's my hope. There is no question we are negotiations. The agent's opinion that we're not negotiating. We are in the sense that he knows full well what I'll pay. Knows full well, okay? What will pay. So I'm very comfortable with that. Now let's look at the paperwork. I have Micah for 3 more years. I can franchise him the next. I have him 3 more years. Now, if you summed up what I'm going to pay him to what I'm going to pay him this year, 2 years, it is much 60% of what I offered him. So I'm pointing out that there's a way that you look at it. What is this all about? What is this about? Of the players, 2/3 of the money. So that means that you've got to, when you start hundreds of millions of dollars commitments, you've got to make sure you're right. One miss in that area makes up for that or less than that out here. Those are critical things. That's why Dak Prescott's got all together in the way that it did with the deliberateness that it did. And that's why it took us 2 years of just these same circumstances to get to his contract. That's been experience.
I'm going to come at you with it like this because you are my buddy. I'm unapologetic about that. That's right. You don't give a shit about what I have to say half the time. You're totally right. You're absolutely correct, okay? And criticism when I think it's warranted, but I love you. Here's the deal, Jerry. I've been on the, here's where my decision. Jerry Jones has established himself at the creme de la creme, one of the elite businessmen of sports. $1 billion is $12.8 billion. You're worth over 16. I'll come to several points. Money is no longer your problem, Jerry, okay? All I'm thinking about is you've been negotiating for decades. You've been negotiating before Micah Parsons was even conceived, compared to you negotiating table. So for somebody as accomplished as Jerry Jones to sit across from Micah Parsons and engage kind of negotiation, how does that make sense to anybody outside of yourself? Because we know he's a football player. You're a businessman. I would not sit across from you at the negotiating table. I would send my representative to sit across from Jerry Jones. I'm not going to try to negotiate with you. I don't have a prayer. What are you to expect from Micah Parsons in that regard? What do you say?
Done is negotiating as I've done, not there by simple miles, not winning awards, but by simple miles. You know the only way to get things done. The only way to get things done. There's no bargains. The only way to get things done is get to where you're going, where both parties can live with it. Okay. Both parties can live with it. That's the art. But I know that, and that does show me. I'm the general manager of this team. I'm not the owner. I am the owner, but I'm the general manager. Have been since the day we opened. All contracts have been under my purview since we've been doing it, and the negotiations associated with it. Although I've got some great people. Number one, Stephen, who's as a chemical engineer, ought to know how to negotiate. My whole point is, I fully understand the difference in experience. Now let me add something to this. Michael Parsons is brilliant, really.
I'm not questioning his brilliance.
He's not only as an athlete, he actually mentally. And he is very, very, very capable. The only one that I've ever that really matched him, and we'll put Mike in there because we did negotiate, was Charles Haley. Maybe one of the best negotiators that I've ever been around to get it done. Very possible because just like you have advisors They have advisors, and Micah's got agent.
Yeah. David
And that
Mulligetta,
agent-
to be
And
exact.
that agent is within a phone call of talking about any detail that was there and was available with any that was there. We have agreed on how long this is going to be, and we've agreed on the amount of guarantee it's going to be.
You and Micah.
The package is the biggest ever paid a non-quarterback. That's where we are.
Right.
That's where we are. But because a third party, rather than me and Micah,
Right.
has got to come in. Why? Because he's got to get his fingerprint on it.
Come on, Jerry.
Come on, please. He's got to get his fingerprint on it. All right? You tell me. I'm just telling you.
Right.
Okay,
I'm not
because
challenging
he
you.
wasn't there. Well, I'm just telling you, though. I'm not challenging you either. But there's need for him to come into this agreement, except look at all of the details of the agreement and all the fine print and all of that. But then he's got to sit here and say, well, is that something that Mike ought to live with? Or should he, under this year's contract, and be franchised years after that?
But Jerry,
which one?
But Jerry, you told me, think about this. Let's backtrack. Last year you're talking about life and how beautiful life is, having purview over the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, being the GM of the Dallas Cowboys, being around young folks, keeping you young. And there's so much stuff that youngsters don't get, and how the world has changed and how you've had to evolve with these changes. Micah Parsons is not 50. He's 25, 26 years old now. He wasn't around. So when you were doing things the way that you have always done it, he wasn't born yet. He doesn't know. So he comes into this world now. He has representation telling you this is how business is done these days. All of the other owners capitulate and adapt to that because they recognize these kids are not what they used to be. Change now.
Can I interrupt you
Sure.
a second?
Please.
You're not talking to the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. You're talking to the general manager of the Cowboys. And so all these teams, owners, may not be involved. But in this case,
Dude
I
is
am the general
crazy.
manager.
Hey,
My job is to.
Jerry is really crazy. He's 80 something, y'all. This man is really not there. You know what I'm saying? General manager. He is, and you're the owner, nigga. Don't forget that. So you saying when I got
My job is to
I'm
do
not
the
owner.
contract.
That don't even
My
make
job
sense.
is to sit down. What is at issue here, Stephen? What's at issue is not whether I should be negotiating the contract. The issue is who I negotiated with. I'm standard. I'm operating in my shoes here. I'm the general manager and have been since I bought the team. So I negotiated Herschel Walker. I negotiate all the contracts.
That's right.
Okay. Do I have a lot of help? Do I have plenty of
Sure.
fabulous help to go do it?
Andrew
But
Stevens.
that is my job. That's different than the owner. Okay. And if